Good morning, Councilwoman. So,
morning.
you joined the roundtable with Romano Prodi, Roberto Balzani, Stevie Austin. It was intended to take stock of the 30 years since the fall of Berlin Wall. And all discourses, of course, fell upon the urgent matters concerning politics, economics, employment, or the hate campaign of some movements. Since the project, the European project in which this initiative was inside, it is this European Erasmus Plus project concerning the relationship between European culture, citizenship, and cultural heritage. Culture seems now something like a marginal issue or even irrelevant when compared with this issue, these are very urgent matters. So you are in charge of this kind of matters because you are in charge of the education and European politics, so international cooperation. So what's your opinion, what's your view about the role or possible role or irrelevant role of culture today within the European situation?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's this 30 years anniversary of the Berlin Wall should be and could be an opportunity to start to do what we started to do, or maybe another generation started to do 30 years ago, which is thinking in how build the European citizenship. And the culture is one of the priorities, is one of the tools that a community could have to build a new sense of European citizenship.
So not just an issue or a matter, but an instrument.
Yes, it's a tool, an instrument that a community, the policies, local government as we are, could use to build a new sense of citizenship. Let's think, for example, about Erasmus. That was a huge cultural project between universities, students, that helped build a sense of citizenship in a generation. We have the Erasmus project left a mark in a generation. So I think that this anniversary we should be able to find another project, a huge project that could leave a mark in this generation, in the millennials generations, in the Z generation as we call them, which are guys and girls that are in the new way of communicate between each other. So they should be even for them it should be even easier than for us to communicate with other European young
you
people.
have still hope, about this perspective, notwithstanding with some people, even during the roundtable, remarked that the Erasmus generation was also the generation who voted for the Brexit in England.
Yeah.
Partially, but there was
partial
relevant quota of
yeah.
them.
It should be also read as a kind of protest, and like all the illusions maybe that the huge European project gave us. So let's be more European. Let's be the future of Europe will be your future. So you will not have any problems now with this kind of development model. But many young people were disappointed with the crisis, with the with unemployment rates. So maybe it could be understandable, but
You
that's
say,
why.
like the American dream, so the
Yeah,
European dream.
Yeah, the European
was,
dream was
in
kind
a
of
sense,
deceived.
yeah.
So this is maybe the points where we should start from. So give a new European dream, give a new way of think about us, about the new generation as a European community. So try to invent new tools to make them grow together, study together, work together. And then maybe probably we should we could not lost this opportunity.
Thank you. Romano Prodi underlined when interviewing, said, okay, yes, you talk about the European culture, but I don't agree completely, because he said it is not important to look for a European culture, because the fact that we have many European cultures,
Yes.
It's really something valuable, and the question is to foster the dialogue
Yes.
among these cultures, not just trying to find some abstract European culture. You agree?
Yes, I totally agree, because I think that diversity is the heritage that Europe has, maybe more than other parts of the world. Like in a very small part of our world, we have a concentration of diversity that it's very strong. So the motto "United in Diversity" should be now practical. Should be now see as really a practical thing to do with languages, with different cultures in all the states, but also what is coming outside Europe. So in terms of religions, in terms of new generations of immigrants that are bringing, that their family brought in the last decades, other forms of diversity which are melting with the European diversity. So the challenge is probably even harder than 30 years ago, but I think it could be our richness.
Okay. Last question. In this view, what are the projects underway or expected to be developed by your office and the Municipality of Ravenna about these issues?
Well, I think the Municipality of Ravenna always had this issue of diversity matter, policy of diversity, very in the center of the agenda. Since we are a city with the history of diversity, our ancient history brought us an heritage about diversity. So let's think, for example, the saint of the city, it's called Sant Apollinare, comes from Syria, for example. Or the port of Class always brought in Ravenna a lot of different cultures, different people from all over the world. So it's a kind of DNA sign that this community has. In the local policies, what we could do, and what we are doing actually, thanks also to the University of Bologna that we have here, and that arrived 30 years ago as the Wall of Berlin. We started to work about how to build on a local level a new sense of citizenship, European citizenship. So, for example, I bring only one example. The project Europe, Ambassadors of Europe, Young Ambassadors of Europe. It's a project where we selected 15, 20 young students who go to the secondary schools, so they talk to even younger people, and they play with them about the history of European integration. They tell them what is Erasmus, what is traveling around Europe. We do activities, for example, as the simulation of the European Parliament, so that they could understand that Europe and the European institutions are part of their being a citizen. So since they have to know the Italian constitution and how the Italian institution works, we think that it's at the same level important that they could know what the European institution is and how it works. So
Absolutely.
this is, for example, one of the projects that we do, and we always do it with the schools. We always start from young people, because we think that we have to disseminate from the very early
It has to be the new
age.
generation with,
Yes.
who is aware of what is a European consciousness.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.